Brandon, once again, thank you so much. Now joined by Coach Ted Gilmore. Coach, thanks so much for joining us here on Inside Signing Day. I want to just start with wide receivers. Is that the hardest position to scout?
Well, yes and no. I mean, I think as we evaluate them, we put them in one or two categories, either big-bodied guy, and that guy has to have a complete catching radius, or your separation guy that has a little more speed, do some things with the ball, and do some things I can't coach. But at the end of the day, I think we want a football player. I think we want a good athlete that can do multiple things.
How does Wisconsin approach recruiting wide receivers? Because you think Wisconsin, you think running school. You know, last year, of course, Joel Staviak, they did plenty through the air, but a lot of people must think that stigma is there too. How do you approach when you walk into someone's house and talk to them about an opportunity that exists for a wide receiver at Wisconsin?
Sure. Well, I remind them, I don't think it matters how much you throw it, but who you're throwing it to.
Yeah.
So whether you're in a spread system or not, I've been in part of those systems when you line up with 3, 4, 5 receivers all the time, and still by and large, there are 1 or 2 guys are primary targets. And it's no different in our offense, you know. So the one plus about our offense is not a lot of short throws. So a young man that is sold on wanting to become a complete receiver has to learn how to run the entire route tree. So there's a lot of pluses to this offense.
Yeah, so it's just you have to be physical, right?
No question, no question. We're going to challenge them to be complete receivers.
Yeah.
You know, I want them to be excited about making a block as catching the ball. So, it's easier said than done with some of those guys, but, the kind of kids we're trying to recruit, those smart, tough, dependable kids, understand that they're going to have to bring their lunch pail.
Let's talk about one of those guys, Quintez Cephas. He turns down a D1 basketball scholarship. Not one of the biggest guys on the recruit spreadsheet that we all have, but Wisconsin went after him early. Why?
Well, even before I knew he was a basketball commit, just watching the tape, the athleticism stood out. I mean, he was a good athlete doing some terrific things, and as you watch the tape and then you did your homework and visit with the coaches there, this kid hadn't played a lot of football. And then when I did look at the basketball, I was like, whoa. And I don't know a lot about basketball, but I know enough to think he's a pretty good player. So I don't understand how that recruiting side of it works, but he's a good athlete.
When someone stands out like that, you start thinking about what he can do for you. If you get your hands on him, you can coach him. Is that part of it?
Sure, no question. And when a young man is committed to play basketball, you ask those questions: do he want to play football?
Right.
Is he committed to that process? And I think for him, it was, he wanted to play at the highest level, whether it's basketball or football. And I don't think anything's wrong with that. In fact, I like recruiting kids that do multiple sports. I mean, you see different things on a basketball court that you may not necessarily see on the football field. So I just think it's a plus that you're getting an athlete that can transition and do multiple things, and that speaks volume to his abilities.
Let's talk about your room, the responsibility of the wide receiver group as everyone gets used to what will be a new quarterback this year to help that quarterback develop and get comfortable through the spring.
Well, that's a great question. I mean, I think it's a question that a lot of people don't pay credence to, that a wide receiver is just as important as that development of a young quarterback.
Sure.
Where, timing, spacing, equal completions. I mean, we got to be where we're supposed to be there on time, and we got to make plays and give that quarterback the confidence in what he's doing. So it's a huge role, and it's a huge responsibility on our part, and it's one that I want the guys to understand.
Well, Coach, thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing how you and that group help the quarterback come along this spring. Coach Ted Gilmore, when we come back, did you know there was a 6'7" tight end in this recruiting class? Coach Mickey Turner will join us to talk about that next here on Inside Signing Day.